Heyo everybody, Haku here with my live reaction to read through for Tower of God chapter 618 or season 3 episode 201. Incredibly excited to get into it, as I always am. I promised last week that I would do a stream and talk about chapter 616 and 617, and I didn't get a chance to. I got the chance to stream once, and the one time I took the chance to stream and did an anime stream that I've been trying to get to for months, I took off dinner for that day. I chose to stream instead of dinner. So again, I really wish I had more time. I have so many Tower of God stream ideas, but I promise sometime this week I'll do a stream where I'll talk about the anime, since that's about to start. I'll talk about 616, 617, and 618. I'll do a big discussion. I'll reach out to the other Tower of God YouTubers within my sphere, or if anybody's interested, just let me know, if anybody, because I know a bunch of you watch this, and I'll just reach out and be like, hey, if you want to jump into a call, be a part of it, you can, and we can just go through the chapters, talk about them. I'll answer any questions you all have in chat, things like that. Talk about the anime season, talk about the past few chapters, etc. Because there's so many details, so many things that connect back to previous chapters, so many things that I've realized after watching everyone else's reactions, because I watch like 7 or 8 a week, to be real with you. There's so much that I've realized after all of that I really want to talk about. As for last week's chapter, anything pressing to talk about before I get into this one? With the name translation stuff, I tried to do some research, tried to look into some of these. So for Amizu, I'm just probably going to say Amizu because it's how they're writing it out. And really, so going after I read this in English for the reaction last week, I went and read the original Korean just to check on the names, see what they're like and stuff, because people were talking about name translations. And so her name, at first I thought it was Amu-su, but it's Amu-ju. And what? It's like 3 characters, Amu-ju. And so it's like, I don't really know what Siyu's going for with that. And of course, there are no Z's in Korean, so they use the J sound, which is why Zahard is Jihad. So yeah, I've no idea what he was going for with that name. Some people have said, oh, it might be supposed to sound like a muse. But the thing is, U is a vowel sound in Korean. So if he was going for a muse, I would think that he would use a-mu-j. But Amaja is what he uses. So I'm like, should we call her Ams? I have no clue. I'm just going to say Amizu. I don't think it really, call her whatever you want. Type whatever you want in the comments. I don't think it makes a big deal. Or it matters a lot or anything, because let's be real, if we were being really strict on character names, we should definitely be calling Rachel Rahel, even though it's spelled Rachel like it is Rahel in Korean. That's what it is in Japanese, and for that translation, the original Hebrew, the original Hebrew name is probably pronounced like Rahel rather than Rachel. So it's like, if we were being real, we would call her Rahel, not Rachel. So I think it's much like Andrasi versus Endorsi versus Andorothy. Just call them what you want. It's fine. Who really cares? Zahard is supposed to be Zahard, so that's what I go with. But if you go with Jihad because you prefer it, who cares? Go for it. It doesn't really matter that much. And then as for Yirang is a weird case. So I tried to do any kind of search to see if the names are referenced to anything. There is a Chinese name that's Yiran, which uses the character for combust or flame, so that matches the Yan or the Yan family. Again, I always say Yan rather than Yan, Yun. It should be just Yun, not even anything how I pronounce it. But so there's that Chinese name, Yiran, with the character for combust or flame or whatever. But that's usually a male's name. Maybe Siyu doesn't know that much about Chinese. Maybe he doesn't care. Maybe it's not even a reference to that. Maybe it's just a name that starts with Yi or E or Li, because the character is all the same. The character is E. The character's E, but so often, if you see Korean people with the surname Li or the surname Yi, the character E, for some reason Koreans, again, it's their language, they romanize it as Lee or Yi very often. So if you ever see that as a last name, it's the same character that's in Shibisu or Shiblisu or Shibyisu, same character that's in Yiwa. So maybe Siyu just wanted a name that started with Yi to match Yiwa, the same way we have other characters where the first, character of their name is matching to like their father or mother. Maybe that's the kind of thing that Siyu was going for. I don't really know. That's a possibility. Also, there's a space there that's weird. I know that spacing is important in Korean grammar. I've heard Korean people talk about it, but I don't really as somebody who doesn't know that much Korean, I don't really understand it particularly myself, so I don't know what the space between Yi and Rang is to symbolize, or if it means anything in general. It might not mean anything. There's also, why do we have Yirang and not Hana? I've seen some people bring up that Hana in Korean, can just be number one or the first as a name meaning. So it could have just always been a placeholder name, like the first of the Yan family. So it could have always just been a placeholder name, and her name was never going to end up being Hana. That's a perfectly normal case. Or we could see how Yirang ends up becoming Hana. It could be something that's explained through the story. Maybe she changes her name in the future and starts calling herself Yan Hana. That's a possibility. Or through I saw the best theory, somebody was just in an offhanded comment in I don't know, a Twitter thread or something, was hey, what if she splits herself into Hana and Yarde? And I latched onto that. I was like, you know what? That's pretty good. I really latched onto that because for so long we've been trying to think, who is Yarde? Or I always say Yarde when it should be Ilado. So, or Ilard. And again, Ilado, and Irang, maybe there's something there. But we've always wondered, so how is Hana the head of the family, but then Iarde is the one, or Ilarde is Ilard. I don't know why I'm throwing the A on the end. I always think I read it as two L's at first and was going with a Spanish double L pronunciation. I've called her Iarde my entire life, and it's hard to stop now. It's been 13 years. But we've always wondered how that works. How does Iarde have kids for a family, and they have the strength of kids that are born to an irregular? How does that work? And how does Hana serve as the head, the virgin head of the family? And it could make sense if she splits herself into two people, where I'm thinking maybe she splits herself into two people. Now that we've gotten to the memory stuff, now that we've gotten to Gustang separating parts of himself off into the writing children, it just doesn't seem like a stretch to me at all, because we already have the writing children stuff. Gustang wrote his memories down into a book. Tromare kept giving memories to Leviathan, which makes me think maybe she split herself in two, and Iarde has the memories, whereas Hana is the main Irang personality, the main Irang ego, so to speak. So she splits herself. The part that's Hana, the part that's her kind of original self is Irang minus the memories, is Hana and stays as the virgin family head. Meanwhile, the part that she split off that has the memories, Iarde, is the one who has the kids for her, and that can explain why there's somebody else that's having the kids that are again, irregular children's strength for her. So I think that's the best theory ever. I think her splitting herself, especially given what we know about the memory stuff, makes perfect sense. And when it comes to the memory stuff, I've been talking before about the timeline. I think this is after they split up, after climbing to the top and had that big falling out, but this is before they actually went to war with Vian Arlen, maybe. Going back through the Nest and stuff recently, because I've talked multiple times about watching Amy Angel's reactions that I wasn't there live for, and I'm gonna get to the Pyro Primo ones I missed once I'm done with that. I'm almost done. So I've been going through the rest of the Nest ones that I missed from Amy Angel, and just some of the stuff I saw, with Tromare talking about Leviathan and everything, and the Wang Wang flashback. The Wang Wang stuff is so connected and so applicable, seeing how he treats that, how he treats the Enkidu stuff. And there's also that Yusracha said that the the stuff that went on, the experiment that created him and Wang Wang happened toward the end of the Great War, when the Great War was calming down, but it was still technically ongoing. So that was, I didn't know it was that ancient. That was incredibly, extremely ancient. And by the time that Yusracha had climbed the tower, become a ranker, gone into Traumare's service, we know that Traumare already had children or branch leaders like Elbaba and Perditi around. We know that that kind of stuff already existed. Traumare had the short hair and mask like he does now. And something that Traumare says to Kirin before he goes to do the Wang Wang, Nen Nen, killing them stuff, he's like, Wang Wang reminded me of something that I felt a long time ago. Because Kirin's like, should we send people to go kill Wang Wang and the canines or whatever? And Traumare's like, no, don't do that. Because Wang Wang reminded me of something that I felt a long time ago. So I paid a visit to that creature, which we know is Leviathan now, and I put those feelings or those memories away, and now I need to go test if I still feel that. And then he goes and has Wang Wang killed and everything. So I think Wang Wang legitimately made him feel the way that Enkidu makes him feel as a friend, and he went and put those memories, those feelings for Wang Wang away within Leviathan, and then he was like, I need to go test if like I still feel this. That's why he had to go do it himself and be there for Wang Wang's death. He had to go make himself feel nothing. So again, I think the Wang Wang stuff is just so interconnected with the Enkidu stuff, especially because of, you know, how it works with Yama and everything, because of course with Yama being the Slayer, it just feels like Yama, and with Yama also having the connection to Wang Wang and Nen Nen and Yusracha, who were all killed in some way or another by Traumare, even if it was indirectly. It just feels like Yama should probably be the final matchup to Traumare. Traumare at some point in the future. But either way, long Haku intro. I just felt like that was stuff that was important to bring up before we get into reading this next chapter. Again, I'll do a big discussion stream at some point this week, but that was all stuff that I felt like directly connects to what we might be reading since we're in this Enkidu Traumare flashback. So either way, let's start reading, making sure you can see everything all right. Let's see what we get. We have Traumare's Past 3. I need to, again, I'm trying to get my pronunciations better. I need to say Traumare, not Traumare. I'm just so used to like Japanese Ray pronunciation versus Rai. We see the family heads all sitting around. Well, the family heads and Amizu. Again, I'm just going to say Amizu because it's easy to say, and I don't really like Amizu, I don't really think either is particularly wrong, so I'm going to just stick with Amizu. Screw it. We have them all sitting around. Also, that means that we had confirmation Amizu's climbing with them. Her brooch in the first scene that we see her is a butterfly, which connects to what I said before about, like, I think she's sending out her birds. Again, if she controls birds, that's cool because she's like an anima like Traumarai. But that means that I think she's communicating with V or Arlen or Mircea, and I think it was Ron Can said, what if she was Arlen's friend when they were climbing? So if she's Arlen's friend when they're climbing, she could still be keeping in touch even though they all split off. We know that Amizu hasn't been the same since the day they all split up, and she could still want to climb. And for whatever's going to go wrong at this party, it could be as simple as her at this table right now saying, hey guys, want to keep climbing the tower? And that just sets everybody off on some huge argument. Like, it could be as simple as something like that that could happen. Let's see, anything else in my brain? Okay, let's keep reading. Oh, what I was going to say before I got distracted by the butterfly stuff and maybe talking to Arlen v. Mircea is she is our third, maybe fourth confirmed non-irregular member of the team. And while they could have like dozens of people who climbed with them, I think keeping like members of the team, people who were close enough to sit at a table with the family heads, I think keeping them limited is a good thing. And I'm just realizing whoever Edwan's with isn't actually one of the family heads. So this is somebody else. Maybe one of his first wives or something. But what I was getting at is I like the idea of keeping people who climbed with them, like members of the team, as like really special cases, because so far all we've got, like confirmed, is Quadrado, who had an S rank weapon, which is extremely rare. We have Amizu, who is the lover of Traumerei, one of the family heads. We have Murchia, who's one of the absolute strongest beings in the tower at this point, up there with family heads. And we have the fourth, the one that's a maybe, is Icarus. Is Amizu Icarus? I don't think so. Icarus looked different, and Icarus was like a doll created by the workshop or something like that, maybe. I don't think Icarus is closely related to Traumerei. I think Icarus is closely related to Rachel. I think that's a different subplot altogether, really. So Icarus is like maybe like a fourth non-irregular member of the team here. Hey, do you remember that one? Also, I just remembered when we first get the boss at the nest, because Icarus reminded me, the book said Icarus and the Prince of Zahard, and when the boss first shows up at the nest, Orari, whatever, is like, who are you? And they're like, we want to know who we are ourselves, but we call ourselves the boss. And it's like, okay, so the boss doesn't actually know who they are? And it's kind of weird to me. I think it's just an art style difference. The thing on the boss's eye originally when they show up does not look at all like the scar, the one we see show up at the Sprout. Like, it doesn't look at all like that. Also, the one at the Sprout seemed like, or the one at the nest seemed like they had longer hair. So I think it is the same character, and was also a lot less buff. I think it is the same character, but maybe it isn't. Maybe they are two different ones. But like, it's just an art style change. Hey, do you remember? That one-eyed mechanoid who guarded the Eternal Spring. Oh my god, there was a monster guarding the Eternal Spring? I'm dying to hear more about it. So I guess they weren't a part of the team, they're just the +1 of Edwan. I'm dying to hear more about it. No one knows how to defeat mechanoids and capture a woman's heart like him. Oh yeah, it was a total beast. The others would have been in big trouble if I hadn't been here. And so now they're translating as like mechanoids, as maybe like the machine people. Because we know there was the 5 Flower Nations, Dowan's a descendant of them, there was the Machine Kingdom, and so because of the way that the flashback we had to Icarus talking was, Icarus could have been one of the machine people, like a member of the Machine Kingdom. Like, so either Icarus, I'm thinking either Icarus is one of the native machine people of the tower, and that's gonna tie into the Machine Kingdom, and that's like gonna get us into some lore on the machines that are in the tower, or Icarus is like a creation of Mixeth. You bring up that same story whenever we meet. We could have handled it just fine without you. Lord Traumerei, Lord Zahard's palace reached out to let us know that he won't be coming. Okay, I thought Zahard might be showing up, but I guess not. Alright. I was hoping to see him today. Too bad he's so busy. Traumerei looks really nice in this panel. Also, Traumerei and Zahard's relationship is so interesting. I really want to see more of it. Like, if Zahard would have showed up here, I would have loved to see how the other family heads and all react to him. I should probably head out there now. There's Lord Traumerei. And Enkidu's flanking him. Traumerei, it's been ages. The man of the hour. Huh? You must be that guy Enkidu we've heard so much about. The one that Traumerei takes everywhere with him. And he's surprised. Hello. You're a good sport to put up with Traumerei. Does he get on your nerves sometimes? Not at all. He's always good to me. Good to you? Yeah, right. Traumerei, you sure brainwashed him well. I love this interaction so much, and I've mentioned it the past couple weeks. I am really starting to like Enkidu as a character a lot. Anyway, I'll buy you a drink sometime for all your troubles. Do you mean it? Thank you. Enkidu. We have some things to discuss. Could you give us a moment? Oh, right. I suppose you have a lot to catch up on. I'll find something else to do in the meantime. Wow, you two actually talk to each other. What's gotten into you, Traumerei? I thought you couldn't stand people anymore. You only ever seemed to like animals. You were like an animal otaku. I still can't figure out what he's doing with Amizu. Huh? I used to wonder if maybe Amizu had a tail, so I was tempted to check. You're gonna get yourself in serious trouble. You just don't understand my charm. Enkidu had heard so much about these people every day, but as soon as he saw them in person, he realized something. Unless he could somehow turn back time. Oh, he'd never be that kind of friend, because, I mean, listen to and look at the way that Traumeray's talking with them. Charm, give me a break. A potty mouth like you, charming. Don't test my patience. There was no way he would ever be included as an equal in their group. But at the same time, another idea occurred to him. What if I could possess one of them? Please, tell me more about Amizu's charm. Be honest with me. Let go. And what if no one found out about it? Sketchy. Maybe then I could finally be one of them. Man, Enkidu, poor Enkidu. Like, he's doomed to, like, this is a horrible idea, but if he doesn't do it, he's doomed to forever be just a creature to Traumeray. But then again, like, they would notice. So it's like, damned if you do, damned if you don't. His best plan would just be to hang around for tens of thousands of years with Traumeray, but, you know, he rushed it. It was an extremely bold but tempting idea. Sorry, I feel a hiccup coming on. The party started with everyone in good spirits. These were Traumeray's friends who would climb the tower with him. Although they hadn't seen each other in ages, the reminiscences quickly began to pour out of them, and Enkidu found out a little bit more about them. The beautiful and elegant Yan Yirang was in fact a terrifying person. Although Kunedwan seemed pleasant and got along with everyone, he had a cold and calculating... Weird that they use the Kunedwan name order when they're flopping around Yan Yirang's name order. He had a cold and calculating eye for people. He's like a wolf in sheep's clothing. And as for Pobedao Gastang, he looks like a gentleman on the outside, but he's very edgy and arrogant. Everyone calls him a psychopath. And again, they go back and forth over whether Pobedao has an E or not. Ariehone's always by himself. And then people brought up a lot. They were like, oh, Ariehone, the guys with him are in Joaquin's flashback. They were more detailed, honestly, in Joaquin's flashback than they were last week. But I wonder then, if they were around for this long with him, if they could have also climbed the tower with them. Are they servants of his? What are their relationships? Because the one guy definitely didn't have white hair. What is their relationship to Hone? So it's difficult to get to know him. As Traumeray's friends and the various guests mingled, the party got off to a smooth start. We have some dancing, these random other characters. And again, are these random other characters like... Did they climb the tower, or are they just random additional people? Like, how close are they with the family heads, particularly? Up next, Lord Traumeray and Hate will perform an infernal fireworks show. The entertainment was dazzling. So cool seeing Hate. Alright. The atmosphere was so sweet and happy. We're seeing more of kind of these same characters. It truly was the greatest party. And then the moment came. So again, I guess maybe they were just random people who climbed with him, but I don't know. Again, I like it if they keep the people who climbed with them special, but also, it's like, would they even invite just random people that were part of the team but weren't that important? Like, I don't know. And then the moment came. I've got it, Traumeray. For the party's grand finale, we are barely into the chapter. This is nuts. This is one of the gifts you received today. I thought the ring would look pretty inside it. What do you think? Is that some sort of bouquet? I don't really like that ornament. The ring falls out if you turn it upside down, like this. She's going to love it. I bet she'll be speechless when you hand it to her. Mic check. 1, 2. Hello, everyone. Are you all enjoying the party? I don't want to spoil the fun, but this seemed like the right moment to make an announcement. Okay, and Amizu's making an announcement. Hey, it's Amizu. Is she going to sing or something? You're so pretty, Amizu. Amizu? Oh God, before he can even propose. First of all, I'd like to thank you all for coming today. We risked our lives to climb this tower together. It means so much to me to be reunited with you all. It was a long and difficult journey to reach this point. There are many miracles along the way and moments when we feared the worst. I don't even begin to measure up to your greatness, but I was proud to have been able to help you on your noble quest. Okay, and who is this blonde person? We didn't get a, like, We didn't get a box for them, so I assume they're not a family head, but these two with Edwan look somewhat important. I really cherish every moment that we spent together. However, we've changed a great deal. Again, is she going to say she wants to keep climbing? It's difficult to say what exactly's changed about us, but we've definitely changed. Again, we see a bird. I suppose we're no longer as ambitious as before. We chose comfort and stability over adventure, which is something that they kept talking about with Dadazahard. Those of our friends who refused to accept that left, and we began to shun them for that. You're all such good people, but I can't say I like everything about you anymore. Again, so are all these people who are part of the team? It seems so. This isn't anyone's fault, it's just unfortunate that things turned out this way. It pains me to say this, but I no longer like you. And Tromare is walking out, as you are. I have to admit, seeing you again today did make me question my decision briefly. Okay, so she questioned it briefly after seeing them again, but she probably is going to go with Arlen's group. But I've already made up my mind, and I'd like you all to know, as of this moment, I'm leaving you and this house. And he stops. What? What are you talking about, Amizu? Tromare, you heard me right. I'm sorry. The truth is, I've been wanting to leave for a long time, but I thought I should stay with you at least until the house was finished. I don't think we should see each other anymore. What a way to break up with somebody, though. Like, literally big public breakup. The anti-proposal. So messed up. Tromare. And the ring falls out. That was the end of the party. In the blink of an eye, the bright lights were turned off. And the chatter in the banquet hall faded to silence. Many people quietly slipped away from the floating castle without even saying goodbye, and Tromare was left with only his closest friends. Tromare! Tromare! And Enkidu's banging on his door. Open the door! Amizu hasn't left yet. She's probably planning on going tonight. You can't let her leave like this. And we have him all curled up like he does in the current time. I bet she sided with somebody on the outside. Hey, step aside, says Gaston. We're going in there. Lord Gaston, Tromare won't open the door no matter what I say. I know, I'm sure he's very upset. So please get out of the way. I'll go in with you. Sorry, but there's nothing you can do to help Tromare right now. You don't know anything about their relationship. This is no place for an outsider. Again, Enkidu being treated like an outsider. You'd only make things worse. Now, step aside. Hey, Tromare, I'm coming in. Wait! He kicks in the door. You pathetic fool. What's wrong with you? Why do you always act like such a baby when something goes wrong? I just want to be alone, mind your own business, and get out of my house. I came all this way because of you, and now you tell me to leave? That's that's no way to treat your guests. I don't want to piss any guests, I don't want any guests, so piss off. I don't want to piss off any guests. I don't want any guests, so piss off. I hate to break it to you, but I'll be here for a whole week like we planned, so you better feed me at least. I don't have any food to give you. Why don't you go choke to death on one of your beloved cigarettes? I wouldn't mind some tobacco if you've got some. Enkidu couldn't enter the room where Tromare was. Stop bothering me and get lost. And then Edwan runs in. Hey, I want to see Loverboy's face after getting dropped like a rock by his first girlfriend. Tromare's other friends went in without the slightest hesitation, but Enkidu couldn't bring himself to do it. Why are you sitting there looking like a flip phone? What do you want? Everyone leave me alone. At least you have some sense of shame. He knew that he didn't have the right to cross the threshold. Enkidu desperately wanted to earn that right. He wanted to be part of their group. The more time he spent with Tromare, the more unimportant everyone else in the tower seemed to him. Perhaps what Enkidu really wanted was to be not only Tromare's friend, but his equal as well. In other words, maybe he wanted to become one of the 10 great family heads. Cheer up, man. Relationships are always hard. Once you've been dumped and dragged through the mud a few times, you stop caring who you're with. Then you enter the phase where you just want to hook up and have some fun with a bunch of people. Of course, Edwan. And eventually you become a soccer pro. I mean a dating pro like me. Got it? Gee, that's some great advice. Based on what Amizu said earlier, it sounds like she wants to join Grace and their side. Okay, so again, bringing up Grace Arlen. Yeah, it seems like it. Assuming, again, this is pre-Arlen and V dying, so assuming they're talking about Arlen and not Mircea. Then, if Amizu leaves, does that mean she's our enemy? Okay, so this guy's talking as an equal too, so this guy must be another member of the team. And again, they said one of the closest people with Tromare would stay. If she sides with them, we can't associate with her anymore. There are no exceptions. What do you want to do, Tromare? This how you want things to end up with Amizu? Or things to end with Amizu? Didn't you pour that for him? Why are you drinking it? Because he didn't touch it. Edwan is really fun. I just want to keep her here. I see. Then let's get her to stay. There's nothing like memories to keep a girlfriend from leaving. Memories? Yeah, you know, like the memories of the good times you had together. That's not a bad idea, considering it came from you, Edwan. Humans are sentimental creatures. Memories of our good times together. I think there were some good times, but I can't remember anymore. I remember what happened, but all the emotions I felt at the time are gone now. I wonder if that's because they put memories away after reaching the top in the split with Arlen and V. Do you guys remember? Those emotions, I mean. And again, where he said he had to make sure that he put the feelings away when it came to Wang Wang. Okay, not really. You know, maybe Amizu's right. Ever since we lost our memories of that day, we've changed. So again, they, at this point, already don't remember the day they split. But that's also what we wanted, isn't it? That's right. Our individual memories don't matter so much anymore. The records that we pass down to our descendants are far more important now, and we see Gaston believes that at the moment, but future Gaston will realize the error of his ways after the N incident, presumably. After all, we're going to be this tower's history. Yeah, I remember Zahard saying something about that. Since we're the leaders of the tower now, we have to act accordingly. So he said we need to change ourselves. Tromare decided to override his forgotten past emotions with what he felt in that moment. He's right. I'm a ruler now. I can't let her leave me. And what he felt wasn't love. It was possessiveness. So we see what happened with Tromare's memories, I guess. And feelings, rather. No matter what it takes, I must have her. I can have whatever I want now. I'm one of the tower's rulers. In the banquet hall after the party ended. Hey, have I told you this story? When I first entered the tower, I was so hungry, but I didn't dare say a word to anyone because I didn't want to be a burden. And we have Yirang with Amizu. But Tromare noticed, and he gave me something to eat. Here, eat this. You're giving that to me? Yeah, these fish can show you around in the water when they're alive, but... And it's a sweet fish, right? They're a good source of energy if you boil them. They're tasty. Try one. I totally fell for that serious look on his face. You fell for that? You've got very strange taste. Really? But don't you find there's something pure and natural about a man like that? Natural? I think you mean wild or untamed. Maybe you got a thing for guys like that. I just thought he was so completely genuine. It was cute. God, look at you. Your eyes still glaze over when you talk about him. Why are you leaving if you like him so much? Are you still in touch with them? Grace, I mean. And then, yeah, I guess I've always been on their side. I only stayed here because of Tromare. But I can't keep going like this. I don't feel like I belong with you all in Tromare anymore. Oh, but just to be clear, I don't think you're wrong or anything. Yeah, I know, Amizu. I just can't think the same way as you all. I guess it's my natural limitation. I tried so hard to stay with Tromare, but I just can't do it anymore. We're just so different now. Maybe. That's so neat, seeing the younger versions of themselves here. We've always been different from each other. That's why. I can't be with Traumarai. I can't stand to see the way he's changing. Amizu? We got the bird flying over. Are we going to see V and Arlen? Hold on. Okay, somebody's here. Running. Is this? It looks more like Lizlek than it does V. Do we get young Lizlek? Oh man, I'm so hyped. Hold on. If we get young Lizlek, that's so cool. We have a smash. And we have the platform that the Heyte was on before, I think. Or maybe that's just what all the pillars look like and it's being cut. Yeah, and it's a clean cut. Is this going to be Hone? It is. Long time no see. Mircea Lizlek in the past. So they call him just Mircea Lizlek here, so I guess this is before he got the name Grace. And there's also before... Okay, this is cool. Lots of things to notice. So this is before he got the name Grace, but also his eyes are purple here instead of gold, and he doesn't have the weird scar thing. I brought this up a long time ago, where people were like, maybe when Arlen adopted him, she gave him some of her powers. And maybe the golden eyes that are like Bomb, maybe that comes from that. Maybe, I mean, we know spells can do a lot of crazy stuff. Maybe Arlen did to Mircea the same thing that Zahard... Sorry, hiccups. The same thing that Zahard did to the princesses, where Zahard adopts the princesses, they get the blood of Zahard, they get more powerful, they change a bit. Maybe the same sort of thing happened, and Arlen, gave him some of, like, her powers when she adopted him as a member of the Grace family or whatever. And maybe that changed some things, including his eye color, to be gold like Bomb's. Arie Hone. And we get Glyphung on Mircea and Hone. Mircea stocks are insane, I feel like. We have Mircea Hone here in the past. We had Mircea... Like, Mircea wasn't getting paired up with the weak family heads. We had Mircea Mazano in the present time, and then go into the flashback, we have Mircea Arie Hone. Nuts. So yeah, this is before he was Grace Mircea Lizlek, and he's just Mircea Lizlek. Which, again, confirms that you're still talking to Grace means talking to Arlen. Okay. And then at some point along the way, Grace Mircea Lizlek gives Bomb the name Juviole Grace, which is presumably the child who died's name, I guess. It would be mind-blowing. Again, if we see V and Arlen, it would be mind-blowing if we see V and Arlen and they have, like, baby Viol. That would be nuts. If they have because later on, Viol will die, and then Arlen will take the body and have the body revived as 25th Bomb because Rachel names him 25th Bomb. So, yeah, it would be nuts if we saw baby Bomb/Viol. That would be crazy. And, like, he was already around back here. There's so much cool stuff, and this all happens before the big war they have. And we're seeing, like, the details of how the split worked, where Gaston's like, we just can't communicate with them, we just can't talk with them anymore. Meanwhile, yeah, they're like, oh, we just can't communicate with them anymore. Meanwhile, we've got people like... I'm losing my train of thought a little bit. Just a teeny bit. God, this is so good. So the family heads just aren't allowed to communicate with Arlen's group anymore, but Arlen's group is living, doing their own thing. We know Arlen ruled the Floor of Death before it got converted into, like, a big Zahard worship place. So they're probably hanging out on, like, the Floor of Death, whatever floors V and Arlen might rule. They have their own thing going on. Mircea's already working with them, and we saw the bird going to him, so he's presumably talking with Amizu here, being sent by Arlen. There's so much cool stuff going on. We're seeing like how these relationships work. We got so much deeper into Enkidu's character. I love Edwan here. Edwan was one of the highlights of the chapter. He was so fun. God, this is one of, I think so far out of these flashbacks, these have been some really good chapters. This is the best one so far. That's a killer cliffhanger. Because Arihoon's kind of been off to himself, seeing him and Murchia here at the end, hell of a cliffhanger. Getting confirmation that she's talking with Grace, whether that's Murchia because we see the bird going and then him coming in, or whether that's Arlen herself. I think it's probably Arlen herself. We learn more about the split. We learn more about all these different family heads. It was incredible. And I do still think there's a good chance. So they've lost their memories a bit. I still think the Yirang splits herself into two parts things is not entirely unreasonable, because we know that they lose their memories of this incident too. So they lose the memories of the incident when they split. They lose their memories of this incident. We know that Tromre had feelings for her in the past, but his feelings of love are gone because he put those emotions away. He has feelings of possessiveness now, and we've seen that with everything. We see that with Wang Wang, like I said at the beginning, where he told Kirin, he was like, Wang Wang made me feel something I haven't felt in a long time. Maybe that was love, but I put that away. I put those emotions away, and now I need to go kill him to make sure that those emotions are actually gone. There's a lot of cool stuff going on here. There's a lot of parts in play. And when we get back to the main Sprout, I think I wanted to talk about this at some point, where I think the Sprout is maybe one of the weakest segments of Tower of God, all things said. But there have been some killer moments. And I think that though the Sprout so far has been one of the weakest segments of Tower of God, think about where it's going. Or at least where it could potentially go. We still have family heads in play. We have Murchia in play. We have Mazano and Walhaixong in play. We've got the Revolution and the Daejang in play. And the Daejang could also, where Kirin's like, the next family heads are in that ship, we could learn all of the sort of higher-ups of Revolution, potentially. I think Siu might save that stuff, but who knows? Like, this is also crazy. And again, the way it connects so into Tromre's past with Wang Wang and Nen Nen's really cool, too. And man, the Enkidu story's so intriguing. Again, killer chapter. Absolutely incredible. I need to go get this video up for you all. I need to make it into something. So thank you so much for watching. Like if you did like the video, comment down there. Tell me what you thought of this chapter, my thoughts, reaction, all that. So yeah, subscribe for more Tower of God, much more on the channel. Like I said, I'll try to do a discussion stream sometime this week at some point. And I'll ask everybody else if they want to be involved. If you want a link to the Discord server, it's free and open for anyone. Ask and I'll give you a link. If you'd like to follow on Twitter, you can. If you'd like to help support the channel and drop a super thanks down below, it'd be appreciated. Or if you want to not only support the channel, help me keep making videos, but also get shout outs at the end of every video, get One Piece videos a little bit early, you can go to patreon.com/Haku of the Tubes, or link will be in the description, or just hit join down below to become a member. Thank you so much to people who are patrons and members. Thank you to Chosen Regular Evan Holly, Magical Girls, Efranono, Abyss Knight, and J.A., Jerryton Students, David Lanks, Unfolded Ghoul, Slayer Candidates, SG and Stan Cedar, and Pure Element Patiardial. Thank you all so much for your support. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time.